First video, June 1st, 2019, Papa's garden. It's about a 4-foot bed, maybe 12 feet long. In here we have the these are the canning tomatoes. They'll get about 4 feet tall. Over this way, this goes up to a trellis. The trellis goes up about 8 feet. So they'll be strung up and hanging from there. Probably be a plastic roof on it. My peppers. 4 or 5 different kinds of peppers. Is what is that? That's a giant Belgium. There you go, Cherokee purple. Little lettuce with some beet greens. There's 2 San Marzanos, and they have a trellis that goes up to the top. Just like that Cherokee purple will get strung up to the top of that, and it'll vine its way up that way. There's a couple of sweet 100s, and they'll be hanging off the same piece. We got here. There's some strawberries. I had a whole big area filled with these and they all died off, so I'm trying to bring them back now. A couple more little lettuce jars. Let's see, here's some backups, and these are actually all my eggplants. I had a problem with the bed. We'll get over there in a little bit. I'll show it to you. There's some backup tomato plants. We ran into problems. There's our lettuce. It's a 4x8 area. We have red romaine. Oh geez, I forgot all the names. Emerald jewel, iceberg. Bib, and there's another one in there. I can't remember it off the top of my head. Here we go. There's a bunch of tomato plants. There was, in the dead center, there was a grapevine, but it died. So I just made it a tomato bed. Peas are all in the back. Snap peas. Just starting to come up. Had a few already, but still a lot more to go. Yeah, we're growing many different kinds this year. You have a San Marzano, black crim, pink brandywine, yellow pear. Let's see. These are Cyrils. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in here. These should be an early harvesting. And again, it goes up to a trellis. That trellis right over here. Strings will come down. They'll come down right down to the plant. We got about 4 or 5 feet up. There's a Queen Anne cherry. It didn't flower this year, and because it didn't flower, this is the pollinator for the Tartarian. So the Tartarian has, even though it had 1,000 flowers on it, it has, I think maybe 1 or 2 cherries on it, because there was no pollinator. So hopefully next year this will flower, and then they'll work together and make a whole bunch of cherries. Here's my, this is the main, although there's so many areas, but this is the area that I had 12-foot tomatoes growing in here last year. They filled up that canopy. And way up here, this all up here gets covered in plastic. You can see it, there's a plastic that goes over it. And what it allows me to do is control the rain, the amount of moisture that goes into this bedding area. So these will go single stems. They will get, they'll go right up into here. And this will be covered in plastic. And then the strings will come down. And that's why I can have them fairly tight together, because they're single stems all through here. Here's beets, red beets. Some of them are doing very, very healthy. We eat a lot of the beet greens too. And zucchinis, yellow squash, crooked neck squash, and butternut squash is all mixed up, all the areas. I have a problem with, believe it or not, cardinals. And they come in and they bite off all the small male flowers and eat them. So I have a bunch of females. Those are the ones that have the fruit on it, for those who don't know. I put a net on this one, and I'll save some of the pollinators, some of the males, and once the males come up, I will grab the pollen and I will pollinate the females all the way on all of these. They'll get pollinated by hand. This one over here doesn't have a canopy, it's the first year. I will make a canopy on top, and these will be single stemmed, and they'll go up into 8-9 feet. This bed, something happened, I don't know what happened, but I had the eggplants buried in there, planted in there, and they were doing very poorly. And I tested the pH, and it was very acidic in there, and I don't know why. I cannot figure it out. So I pulled out all the soil and I replaced it with a compost soil mixture. The pH is now correct. I'm letting it settle, I'm wetting it down, let it compact a little bit. And the plants that you saw over in the containers will go into this area in a little while, maybe a couple days. And that's my cucumbers and my cucumber trellis. Now, apparently that end of the garden had enough. It was still, the roots kind of like just stayed in that area. So I left those plants alone because they had some green on them. And then I packed some nice clean dirt, compost, right up against it. So, and they seem to already, that was 2 days ago? No, I just did that yesterday. And they already are looking much healthier, just by pulling all that bad soil out of there. Here's my potatoes, first time this year with potatoes. And I have 2 different kinds in here. This is a row of dark red Moreland, and that is a row of Yukon Gem. And they look very, very healthy. And finally, here's my broccoli. There's 20 plants. This is the second time I've grown broccoli. First time I grew it, horrible results. Now this time, I have a bunch of broccoli heads coming up. There, let's see. You can see them. They are doing very nice. Nice thick stems. Looking really good. So I should be able to have broccoli before the weather gets too hot. And then these will come out, and I'll put broccoli again back in here for the fall. Let the bed settle down a little bit. Put some more compost in, clean it up a little bit, and plant broccoli in there for the fall. Those are my rainwater drums. I collect rainwater. I put it in there, and then that's the water I use to put into my compost tumbler and my compost pile. And there's bags of horse manure. I'm sorry, no. There's chicken manure, rabbit manure, goat manure. Is in those bags. And they're gonna get mixed up into the compost pile. And that's a 4 by 4 foot square compost pile. And it's been filled up to the top twice already this year. And she's settling down. She's still running about 120 degrees in the center. So she's still cooking. And I don't turn it. What I do is I take a long metal digging bar and I drive holes through the top, bunch of holes, and then through the sides to send air through, as opposed to turning it. And I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I still have heat. So if she's cooking, I'm doing okay. I feel good about it, so I'll let it go. And this one is supposed to be making compost and like 14 days, but it's not 14 days. It's not ready yet. And I turn this religiously 2-3 times a day.